Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to This is the final week that we don't have a name podcast.
Mhm.
Episode, I think 8, right? Episode 8, yeah. Um, but yeah, we're back. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. Who wants to. Kyle, last week was your homecoming. How was your trip? And what were your thoughts on Tennessee falling to Ole Miss 31-26? We'll start with you.
Uh, yeah. So my trip was good. Um, I mean, I enjoyed you guys. I enjoyed Caleb's house. I enjoyed, the tailgate, and pretty much, I think I enjoyed the game. I mean, like I said last week, I don't know if I said it on the podcast or not, but I expected to win. But even if we didn't win, I was going to be excited that we were farther along now than I thought we were going to be. So we'll dive into this later, but my thoughts overall was we play that game 10 times with the exact same circumstances. We probably are 5-5. And if we play that game again as a fully healthy team with our running back and our offensive line and some defensive players that were out, we might be 8-2 out of 10 games. So
Yeah,
that's my.
well, we're glad you had a good trip. It was great
Yeah.
to see you. Sad we couldn't get the win. Chris, what'd you think?
I had a great time.
No one cares. What happened
Truth,
at the game? I'm just kidding. I care.
it was truthfully, sometimes some things are fuzzier than others. Uh, Times I was paying attention more than others. It was all kind of a whirlwind. I just really appreciated the sheer anger in the crowd. There was a tremendous environment. Loved breaking the decibel record. It was a rowdy. People were out for blood. The environment was exactly what I wanted it to be. The game almost sort of became ancillary, though. I was encouraged and discouraged in equal measure, but probably maybe a little more encouraged. We played at the number of 13 team off their feet for a while. We came back against them, played better on defense than we had any expectation or any reasonable expectation to do. Held them to 7 points in the second half. That's the best quarterback in the country, and we were a foot away from ending it or winning it at the end. So yeah, I kind of took your philosophy in stride. Like, yeah, it was a loss, sucks. Wanted the win, could have really jump started things, but I've seen enough to where I feel pretty good about our current trajectory.
All right. Well, that's as
I
good as outlined as this show is going to get. That was everything we're going to cover, most likely. Caleb?
I agree mostly with what you and Kyle said about. I think y'all didn't say it, but what you're saying is you kind of had a moral victory a little bit.
We totally had a moral. Well,
But the more I think about it, the further away we get from the game. We had 3 chances to win the game at the end of the game, and we didn't do it. And that, I don't know. It's like hurting more and more as time passes. The more I think about it, so. And
I don't think any mattered as much as that last possession, though, because Ole Miss was just in a run out the clock, conserve mode. So,
yeah,
um,
I don't know that they were for. For one drive, they certainly were.
I
And
mean, when
then
they got that punt late in the fourth, they definitely were where we stopped them and had 3 timeouts. Um, but yeah, my
we,
thoughts. I was very surprised at both teams on defense. I mean, yeah, that was a game where both teams were just hyped up and they were ready to play. That was well played football game. Pretty clean, not too many penalties, which probably should have been a few more. What?
Hey, before we get into the
Yes.
actual game, can we talk? Because this is the first time we've like been in the stadium, and I'm probably like 2016 Florida for me.
Mhm.
What did you guys think before like the game? Like, what did you think about the stadium atmosphere, kneeling at night, the light show, all that kind of stuff that goes with it?
I was pretty impressed with how the effect of running through the tee. I didn't hate it one bit. The ornery old man in me is uh, light shows. Everybody's doing it. We're just copycatting it. But I thought the effect of it was pretty satisfying. The targeted lighting of the tee. They made good use of it. I've heard it all year about how the piped in music was terrible and whatnot. I truly didn't notice it.
It was
I
awful, Chris.
it was
Thank you.
awful. Okay, well, I don't know.
It was literally like between every single play on defense. They needed to let it breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
Hear that, Danny? By the way,
Yeah.
Danny is doing a good job. So we
Yeah.
may yet rectify this.
I think. Oh, you go ahead.
And I did like the pregame light show at least. I thought that it actually surprised me that I enjoyed it. The tee, I mean, it's fine. I just think they need to make the lights brighter on the team.
And more focused, yeah, like it was kind of off center. I'm sure there's a way that they could actually get it to line up. It was sort of off, but yeah, if you want to do it brighter, I feel like they should do it brighter. But the
Yeah.
effect was nice, I gotta say.
That was the little neon at light show they did before the tee and before pregame. That was really cool. I think it was done like just enough and not overdone. My only, I liked everything I saw. The only thing, kind of what you guys were saying, is running through the tee didn't really do it for me as much as it has in the past because it was kind of hard to see it, because they blacked out the whole field. So I wish they would have the light shows, all that kind of cool, but maybe do something where you light up the whole field and you can clearly see the tee. And it was almost kind of our colors are still orange and white, even though it's at night and you couldn't really see anything on the field, orange or white. It was dark. So that was my only complaint. And then later on, I think in the third quarter, they were doing I think it was during one of the commercial breaks. They did the hold your phone up to the jumbotron and scan the QR code and play this video game. And it was like, is this Nuvi at the movies? What are we doing here? Don't do I don't want to play Space Invaders during commercial break. That was the only thing I kind of hated. But it was loud.
I also hated the song between the third and fourth quarters. I mean, I like the song as a general matter, but it was Friends in Low Places, Matt, and it just doesn't fit.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of killed the vibe.
Consider me shocked that you hate the transition song to the fourth quarter.
We just have to find something that feels natural and feels like it fits us, and they just keep doing.
Why are we doing these things? Why is the game experience, the fan experience at so many places, why is it changing?
It's like every athletic director and sports aficionado went to the same conference in Chicago 4 years ago, and they all laid out the same blueprint for the Bulls, the Braves, the Knicks, the Texans, the Dolphins, and your Tennessee Volunteers. Everyone wants apps. They want lights with their phones. They want pretty stuff. They want Disneyland.
But who in the fan base wants this? Who are we catering to?
All right, I'm gonna have a little mini gripe here while we're on this topic.
Go ahead.
Everyone in the stadium is on their stupid phones the entire game. They're not watching the game. And We need to go back to no cell service in the stadium so people will get off their phones.
That's what pisses me off is we play this music so that our freaking network broadcasting the game can get shots of students bouncing up and down like they're having a great time. Like, just freaking stop. Like, I mean, I didn't go to the game, but you guys did. When they opened the tee, was it like as loud as it normally is? Like, or did the light show kind of take away from that a little bit?
For me, like,
it's been louder.
Yeah, that's why I don't get that we broke the decimal record at all. Like, and I know I was sitting like under the overhang during Oklahoma 2015, and I don't know if that is louder down there because you have the overhang right above you, but that to me that was so much more louder than what I had Saturday, and we supposedly broke the record by like 3 or 4 decimals.
Well, we were well up in the escaping sound part of the stadium, but like when I was watching the decibel meter creep up from 114, 16, 18, was it after they did third down for what? Like they did that a couple times. I feel like it was right after that.
They actually did that?
Yeah,
they did.
I will say
that's when he had hit. Matt Corral had like 23-yard runs both times.
Yeah.
I will say that when that first time they played third down for what was the first time I thought, okay, it is actually getting very loud in here.
Yes.
It was like there was a nice little pop for that.
Yeah. My like this is the loudest it is right now was when we had the interception.
Yeah.
When we had the interception, it got really loud. Chris was like, when did we get an interception?
I mean, that's the thing. When Nealon wants to, it like there's nothing like it. Like, I mean, I don't imagine like that video that resurfaced I think last week with Admiral Schofield like reading the Oklahoma players like talking about how they couldn't even go on a silent count like because it was just messing with them. So
yeah, I don't think it was that loud. I mean,
I don't understand trying to create a professional fan experience environment in college football. I just don't get it. And we'll get to this in a minute, but if the students are the ones that they're catering to, then God, we're all in trouble.
I don't know. The students have been good for the most part all year. I don't know.
The students were elite in every aspect.
Bad this year? I don't know.
No, they filled out from Bowling Green, Bring a Buddy. I mean, well, I'm sure we will talk about this, but at the end of the game, when they were, we'll talk about that in a little while. There was a moment in the game that the students truly impressed me. I felt really just alive watching them be good fans.
Yeah. So before we get to the big topics, just a couple notes I have. I thought that was Jeremy Banks' best game of all. I think he had like 15 tackles. Like, guy was everywhere. Couple of times he had a chance to make a tackle and just ran into his blocker for some reason. But shout out Jeremy Banks. He's having a pretty good year. Not made too many mistakes. Running backs. This was something I was thinking about. So, obviously, Hendon Hooker goes down, first play of the last possession of the game, because he had to scramble. And I went and looked it up because it feels like he has to scramble too many times, and it's too soon in the play. Like, I mean, literally 3 seconds after the snap, the guy has to run for his life. So I looked it up. Our running backs only have 15 catches all year and 1 touchdown. Like, why are we not putting our running backs in a position to be able to have a safe dump off and potentially, use their playmaking abilities to make a play? Is that something you guys would love to see more of?
No, I mean, obviously, but the last couple of games, we were just literally handing the ball off and getting 25 yards a pop.
Yeah, but I was watching, and it seems that, most times, there's pretty much always a running back there, but they're just always stuck in pass protection.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
don't know.
because our offensive line is held together with duct tape right now.
We are blocking for Herndon.
Yeah,
Power
that's what I was
team
gonna say.
orange
Is like if we send out our running back out on a route, that's probably our main pass blocker. For Hooger. So.
Yeah.
Mm. You all of us seem absolutely zonked. Are you as zonked as I am? Like, I'm still recovering from Saturday.
I'm still mad as hell. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm pissed off.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm just pissed off.
Sunday was rough. Like, I felt like I was in a car wreck Sunday.
Saturday was rough. Sunday was rough.
But we went. Me and Chris went to Buddies, and it was good. But yeah, I think that I'm not like too tired now. But man, I'm more. The more I think about it, I'm more. Happy about the turnout. Of course, I wanted to win, but Valus Jones doesn't fumble the first punt, or they give us that scoop and score, which I think should have been a touchdown. Then we win.
Let it out, Matt.
We're staying civil right now, but it's yeah.
Can we talk about?
Go ahead.
I've noticed another little group think going on amongst Tennessee fans that I just don't think is right. Everyone's like, well, it's actually a good thing we didn't get the scoop and score because we got 9 points instead of 2. I'm like, no, absolutely, that's not how it works. We would have had the touchdown. We stopped Ole Miss on the next drive, so then we get the ball back again, and then you go score. Like, of course you want the scoop and score. Could have had 14 points.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a dumb take, but
well,
let's start with that. The scoop and score. What in the absolute hell is going on? What? What happens?
I have to. Watching it live, I was like, what is Ole Miss doing? Like, I thought the play had. I mean, I didn't hear a whistle because we were so far away, but I was like, surely the play was blown dead, but no, I know there wasn't. But.
Because when a play is blown dead in college, especially like this happens all the time. Like a receiver, picks a pass up off a hop and then drops it, and the defensive back thinks it's a fumble, starts running. What do the referees do? They wave their hands in the air to signal the play dead and blow their freaking whistles. Not a referee on that field Saturday night did that. One ref ran down the field with the guy running towards the end zone, and then they spot the ball for a PAT.
That's why I can't get.
What
I don't.
the absolute freaking hell?
All Corral had to do was look confused, and Kiffin just had to.
I mean, if you watch the replay, like he's hiding the ball, like it's a play action.
It's going to be a hidden ball trick deep route,
and
for sure.
The process of the tackle and the strip is less than 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Zero chance that guy progress made. Get the hell out of here. That was a blown call. Caleb, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if we would have spun him around once and then he slips out of the tackle, there's no way they're calling forward progress.
Yeah. And like somebody said, earlier, they didn't even call it forward progress. He said player control, which is a basketball term. So and they actually on the microphone, Mark, the referee, says player control. It's like, what? That's a basketball term.
Not familiar with that. Did not hear that.
Yeah. He a player control foul, is a block charge. But he said player control on the microphone in the stadium.
I mean, that's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Like, oh my God, I don't understand it. SEC, I hope you guys reprimand that crew because all night, like, one of my notes written down here is holding a penalty anymore? Because I don't think it is. Like, I sent a couple of screenshots in the chat of just blatant holes. There's one where a referee is, like, looking right at it and nothing. I just think the state of officiating, we talked about it last week. You guys said, yeah, it's bad, but it's always been bad. But I think it's worse than bad. Like, this crew is ruined 3 games this season already?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think you're on it right there. It's like, the officiating across the board is bad, but I think this crew is specifically horrible. Like, when you think about probably the past 3 or 4 years, the unacceptable, horrible, blown calls that ruin games is this certain crew.
It's played out since 2009 and probably well before that. I mean,
it all started when they had to stop wearing the white baseball pants. And they got
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, make them look stupid again. They'll do a better job. Anything else on the scoop and score?
I would just say, like, it would, like, in the stadium, like, I didn't know, like, I was like, oh, wow, we got a sack. Awesome. Like, turnover on downs. And then I kind of look away. I think I'm, like, cheering with somebody. And I turn around and I just see the dude running. I'm like, what happened?
I mean, it was the most seamless, like it wasn't like we held him up and, had to fight for, like, we spun him around, he was falling to the ground, and we just took the ball, ripped it out, like.
It didn't look like it didn't register to me that anything was happening. Like, I've seen us do this so many times. There's a ball free, our guy is running. My Tennessee fan brain is saying, this is nothing. There's going to be a flag. There's going to be a whistle. So I never really had an opportunity to get mad about it in the moment. And not until, like, after the game where people were talking about it did it fully register once I saw the replay of what exactly happened. And even then, I mean, but once you look at it closer, we got jobbed. And nobody's going to do anything about it.
You think
it lit the fuse. It lit the fuse for the whole evening.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But do you think because the play fake was so good, like, it just ruined the play? Like, I don't even think the referees thought the quarterback had the ball. And on Tony, he said his sources said, well, they probably just blinked.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was good, but, like, 2 of our guys didn't fall for it, so
yeah.
Well,
yes,
and even I rewatched the game on TV, and, like, Jordan Rogers was like, Matt Corral he heard a whistle. He heard a whistle. Like, he just
bullshit. Jordan.
Matt Corral thought the play was dead, so he went lazy, and and he went limp to protect himself. So the TV guys thought that Matt Corral thought there was a whistle.
Well, didn't he retract that after, like, the reviews? Like, oh, yeah, that's a good call. I just think that play, well, I mean, that's an infamous play now. I'm gonna be pissed about that 20 years from now.
That's like, was it Jabbar Gaffney that had the touchdown catch?
Did he?
Yeah.
So we had multiple.
Like, hit his chest and hit the ground, and it was a touchdown.
We have multiple infamous plays from this game, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, let's move on from that one. Who wants to talk about whatever's next? Go ahead.
Well, the biggest thing for me that was the faking the injuries.
Yeah.
Like, and I know, like, we started doing it, I think, as a retaliation.
Oh yeah, clearly.
It was just kind of like, geez, man.
Why do teams do this when it's in the rule book that the umpire has to give you enough time to substitute? Like, they have to stand over the ball. Like, what?
It's because, no, it's only if the offense substitutes, and we weren't subbing, and so that's the only way they could slow us down. I mean, it's honestly brilliant coaching by Lane Kiffin, as annoying as it was. That honestly probably won them the game.
He did everything right in this game, even though it only yielded a 6-point win. But everything tactically felt correct, which is why I think Heupel has to do this in turn for the rest of the season to demonstrate a point. If you want something to change, it's clearly nonsense. We have to do this, or we have to continue to. We just have to copy it. Somebody,
Yeah.
if we mess up games for someone, the rule will get changed.
And the someone has to be Alabama and Nick Saban because that's who gets rules changed.
Right.
There we go.
But I do think that, like, without the faking the injuries, without the scoop and score, without the fourth down thing the placement of the ball we'll talk about later. Overall, I think we were the more complete team. They have the best quarterback probably in the nation right now, but outside of the best quarterback, I think we're a better team as an offense, defense, special teams.
That just feels more like Tennessee woulda, coulda, shoulda. Just typical.
But I'm just saying, like I said in the beginning, if we played that game 10 times in a row, I think with the same exact scenario, we're 5-5. With a healthy team, we're 8-2.
Bill C says how many? 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Well, you might be right. We are so much better than we have been since. Like, is this the best team since 2016? Are we better than 2016?
No, I don't think we're better than 26.
Defensive-wise, yes. Because that defense fell apart.
Just collapsed. Yeah. Like, better than we had any right to expect to be.
Yeah. One positive for me is Tim Banks. Give that guy a raise. Tim Banks is a superstar.
Is it Tim, or is it everyone is listening to Rodney Garner?
I don't think Rodney's coaching the linebackers in secondary.
Right, but like, he's a young coordinator. Rodney's a seasoned SEC guy. Tony's talked about this in the past that like what he says carries a lot of weight. I'm wondering how much is Tim, or how much is it just a collaborative effort coming through with the schemes and the designs. I don't know. I'm willing to give Tim Banks all the credit.
Yeah,
crazy good.
We're not over there to find out. But.
No.
I mean, the thing that's impressed me the most is that it never looks like we don't know what we're doing, which under Pruitt, it looked like we never knew what we were doing. Like, we get burned here and there and give up big plays, and Matt Corral ran wild and all that, but it looked like we were always doing the called play at least. So
yeah, and like the stuff we were reading, I think we talked about this in chat, is apparently the game plan going into this game was take away Matt Corral's arm, and if they beat us, he's going to beat us with 200 yards rushing, and that's pretty much what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so we executed that plan, and was like, they're basically just saying, hey, Jeremy Banks, you were spying on Matt Corral, and if he outruns you, he outruns you. If not, you can tackle him. And the times that he outran him, he had chunk plays.
Mm-hmm.
But they did. I mean, our secondary and our linebacker, I mean, they did good in coverage. I mean, if we were to think that Ole Miss was going to end up with 31 points, we all thought we were going to win.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we gave them 7 too.
Score predictions. Caleb had 55-52 Tennessee. Chris 63-56 Tennessee. Kyle 51-42 UT. And I had Tennessee 52-49. So a little off. Just a little. All right. Anything else before we get to the fourth down play that started the Knoxville Bottling Company?
We talked about the injuries. I don't know. I would say on the programming side, like, can the TV director just know that the team is faking an injury and not go to commercial break? Because, I mean, like, they'd be like, okay, this is just a hamstring. This is the other team stopping the clock. They're going to get out. And it's like, as soon as we went to commercial break, the player went off the field with the trainers, and then we just had to sit there for 5 minutes. Like, just stop going to commercial break.
Caleb and I were kind of talking about this on Monday. Thank you for bringing it up again, Kyle. But the faking the injury thing, what can be done about that? I mean, my idea was if you go down, you have to sit out, X number of plays. Like, what do you guys think? What can be done to stop this?
I think that's what it has to be. You sit out X plays, or you sit out the rest of this drive, or the next drive, or something.
You lose your scholarship.
I was thinking like X amount of minutes on the clock, because it might be, say like if you're injured enough that the trainer comes out and helps you off the field. If the trainer comes out and there's a stoppage of play, you have to be out for 10 minutes of game time, or whatever it is.
I mean, game time is like just. I mean, it varies. I think plays or series would be the way to go, but
this might be hard for people to track, like, or how long you have to be out.
That's true.
Come back.
I was just thinking like a series might be kind of still like, oh well, this series is only going to be like one more play or whatever.
Yeah. What about a rule that kind of like, gives defense time? Because Caleb, I know you said only offense can basically slow down the game to substitute, but what about giving defense a set amount of time to sub?
No.
No. Josh Heupel's entire system is predicated on them not being able to do that.
Yeah.
Great.
90% of the college football teams wouldn't have an offense anymore.
That's fine with me because 90% of college offenses need to go extinct. Sick of this garbage and this NCAA 2009 online play where, oh my gosh, I feel the pressure. Let me just take off with this freaking running back and run for 30 yards because I don't know how to freaking scheme a football game. Sick of it. Quarterbacks like Matt Corral and, to an extent, Hendon Hooker need to go away. I want pro-style football.
HB ISO, halfback ISO, halfback ISO.
Yes.
That's
Play
what you
action
want.
read.
No.
Yes.
No.
Tired of it.
That's just what you know as a kid. Just because you did something as a kid
30
doesn't mean
carries
it's the right
for
way.
195 yards. Like, get out of here. It's so stupid. I hate this freaking football product that we get to watch these days. It's terrible.
I mean,
that's why they got to pipe.
We need to get rid of
music
quarterbacks.
Put light shows. Yes,
like Tony Robinson and Condredge Holloway
just
and Heath Schuler, like those guys.
Ban the forward pass.
That's got a point. Let's just have 4 wing backs. Student body right, student body left every game, and have Theodore Roosevelt come down and say, people are dying too much in football. We need to start wearing helmets. Is that what you want?
Yeah, we all love the 9-6 games.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I actually loved 3-2 Auburn, Mississippi State more than anything. God, it was great.
But we loved it because it was bad. We were enjoying the train wreck. You didn't like the product.
Oh no, the product. Well,
yeah. See,
the defenses were not good. The offenses were not good, and Mississippi State simply could not hold on to the ball. Neither was Auburn. It was perfection. It was the best thing I've ever watched. Yeah. I could watch that played out in any football game.
All right.
I do. But the high flying offenses with no defensive substitutions, I'm anxious to see what the era continues. I feel like eventually the old will be new again. Some team is going to come out there like Nebraska or with triple option Barry Switzer wishbone, and they're just going to start powering through these finesse teams. 10 years or so. I don't know.
That was what Bama was doing for a while, but not anymore. So, all right. 4th and 24. Kyle, your thoughts?
The one thing before we even put ourselves in that position, the first, second, third down play, I think Hendon Hooker made some questionable reads and runs and stuff because there's a couple times, I think twice, that he could have just thrown the ball right way, but he ran out of bounds, losing a few yards.
Yeah, it was the first time I held him all year.
Yeah, but apparently what I heard afterwards is he had a hamstring issue going into that. Like the last injury was a knee injury, but he actually had a hamstring injury going into that drive.
Good. Stay in the pocket and throw the ball.
Right. So I think we made some questionable calls, and maybe the nerves just got to him a little bit. But I'm glad we had a 4th and 24 instead of him making a bad decision and throwing an interception, though. So, but the play calling was a little iffy on that, or the execution of the play call. I don't know which one you want to blame it on, but so from our view where we were, and the view they kept showing on the jumbotron, and this is the one thing I keep on harping about. They showed one view on the jumbotron, and they kept pausing that same view, and I was like, "Oh, it's clearly a first down."
Yeah,
Because they show you. And Caleb was like, "Well, that's the only view we got. That's the only view we got. We don't know what they're showing on TV." And obviously on TV they were showing other angles that. So I think that was one of the reasons we had the bottle throwing and all that kind of stuff, because the video crew kept showing a clear first down. So.
Well, it all eventually came down to where he had the ball, and he's reaching out with his left hand, but he had the ball in his right hand, like at his waistline. So, I mean, I don't want to knock the kid, but you got to have better awareness than that. Like, you got to know where you're at on the field, and you got to stretch that ball out. Like,
well, I think he did.
That was heartbreaking. No, he didn't. He had it tucked. I mean, if he did, it was after he already went down, because that Ole Miss defender, which was a half an inch from targeting, made a really good stop. But, man, that was heartbreaking.
Well, regardless of whether he got the first down or not, like, actually, it was still a terrible spot. Like,
yeah,
he was at least close. He was at least. Yeah, I mean, doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. Like, apparently the refs were in the position that they're coached to be in on that play, but whatever they're learning,
even on
makes
TV,
no sense.
Like when he caught the ball and like I forget who was the main guy. Don't care. They both are garbage. The main guy said, "Oh, it's a first down," and like our whole offensive line's up there, saying first down. Like, put the ball on the ground. Let's go, and then. Oh, God, Chris.
I don't know how you could be coached to have your line judge on 4th and 24 to be 20 yards away from the first down marker. Why is he running down the sideline 20 plus yards away? The umpire is well behind the play. Why? That can't be how they are supposed to be positioned. It makes no sense. Why is there not someone at the line? But then again, I'm not a referee. I don't know, but it makes no sense whatsoever.
I mean,
and why are there only 2 camera angles? Why is it?
Why do we need pylon cams so we don't need like a first down marker cam? Like, why aren't those like, what the heck? But yeah, I think the spot was wrong, but I don't think it was a first down, sadly. But
I've heard both. Adamant smart people say both.
At first, before I saw where he had the ball, I thought, okay, that's a first down. But like, he had that ball so far, like, it was basically like, right above his thighs. Like it was so, I don't know,
But is it too much to ask to give us one little call the whole game? I mean, come on.
Yes.
Well, that's the topic we're moving to. Fans did not. Well, some fans did not take well to the 15 years of misery built up, and then the scoop and score being taken away for who knows why, because the referees blinked apparently, and now that, and fans started throwing objects onto the field. Water bottles, beer cans, French's mustard, golf balls. I mean, Oh, what'd you guys think?
I can't blame them.
I stand with the fans as always.
Kyle, you're a better person than these other two. What do you think?
Undeniable.
Yeah, like I don't think it was near as bad as, everybody made it out to be afterwards. Like, as soon as it happened, like we saw a couple beer bottles go and water bottles go, but I don't think it was as near as bad as it was played out to be. So
You guys are
Can
looking at.
we?
Sorry, go ahead.
say what?
I was just
No, I
saying
was gonna say
if Donde Plowman is listening to the podcast, which she may be, can we just please say for the record that none of us threw anything?
We did not.
Yeah, like that's one good point. Like I think during the we were probably 15, 20 minutes into the delay, and Caleb, you and Chelsea left, and it was just me and Chris and a couple other people sitting around. And the guy right in front of us, he chucked a water bottle, and the staff member, little gatekeeper for our section, he came down there and thought that one of us threw it, and he was like, "Who threw that water bottle? I saw it come from this area." And he just was like standing there staring at me and Chris and the other guy standing beside Chris. And thankfully, the guy in front of us who threw the water bottle, he just kind of left on his own. And then, but yeah, I don't think it. From what I hear, the national media and all like the blue checkmark gang, as some people call them on Twitter, they hated it. But I think college students, recruits, and all that kind of stuff, I think they at best or worst they didn't care, and at best or worst they loved it.
I love the passion of it, but
I'm
Yeah.
shocked at the passion of it. I'm shocked that it's still there,
that's what
especially from the students.
that's what makes me wonder if it really was that passion, because these students have not seen winning Tennessee football their whole lives, pretty much. Like,
Yeah.
do you think it was more passion or more just the moment and one person started a chain reaction?
Well,
Go ahead.
now I was gonna say I keep hearing people say students, students, students. I saw some old guys be throwing it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Well, I
it
mean,
wasn't all like it was. Let's all say there's 100,000 people there. There was probably 500 people that threw something, and I wouldn't say it's all students.
Yeah, I mean, there is that behind that end zone where student seating and public seating meets, and
Yeah.
students can influence a lot of those people. But I mean, watching it in the moment, I was like, hell yeah, like just burn the whole stadium down after everybody gets out, like just
I still feel that
march
way.
to Birmingham and just demand Mark Curls' resignation, you freaking buffoon. But
I love the lasting thing that I'll take away from it is, all these Nat Med people that just truly hate Tennessee, think that we're absolutely unhinged. I don't give a shit about them. What I like
I was
is the possibility of Neyland Stadium finally becoming a place where it is legitimately intense, intimidating, and borderline scary, even actually scary to come as an imposing fan or team. I do not want Neyland Stadium to become Disneyland. Family friendly, okay. Like, yes, I don't want your kids to be injured at a football game, but I've never bought into this concept of just this bar that they're putting in the north end zone, a new jumbotron, these lodge seats. We want to make the concourses nicer. We want to take the troughs out. We want everything to be. We want Neyland Stadium. We want Tennessee fans to be this placid, docile, politely clapping for everything and this and that. Nice, like Nebraska fans applauding the other team. This is not Tennessee. It's not Tennessee. It never will be Tennessee. And if you think that this should be Tennessee, maybe this isn't the sport for you.
Oh my
Woo!
God!
Maybe
That's
Tennessee-
right, Pat 40. We're gonna get our first beat out.
Oh, man. We had to screen record that. That was a good rant for. Well, that will be our first social media post.
I despise
That
this.
was beautiful, Chris.
I hate
No, I
it.
mean,
I don't even remember
I
what
love
we're talking about.
the whole passion and energy and everything that came into that. Yeah, like should we have not thrown water bottles and beer bottles and golf balls? Of
Clearly.
course not.
A thought
But
that I had.
like
Sorry, go ahead.
it, no, I'll just say everybody's making big deal about. Oh my God, they threw a golf ball. Well, the golf ball landed at Kiffin's shoe, and he picked it up and was like laughing about it and showing everybody.
No, he was
It
serious, but
like
I was like,
he
"What are you
didn't feel
doing
threatened
this?
by it.
You're throwing golf balls."
Clearly
Two
should not.
questions. Who brings a golf ball, and where did the mustard come from? Are they putting French's in the concession stand, or I thought it used to be called?
I'm
in
sure
packets,
that's what it
right.
is.
I'm
No,
sure
They
somebody
haven't
was
had
using
Goldens in
glass.
years.
Yeah, I mean, just
it's there. Yes, that's that.
a hilarious scene. Like I think it was Kyler Curvison and Thomas Edwards that were just like players like have padding on that is designed to protect them from forces of like cars crashing. Okay, like a freaking half empty water bottle is not gonna hurt a football player. Like,
I did regret that the band got pelted a bit, the cheerleaders got pelted a bit, and they felt the need to take them out. But people have been pelting people in stadiums, on stages, since the dawn of art. Since there were stages, just what humans do. By the way, of course, we all know Ole Miss did this to us 2 years ago in Oxford. They didn't like a call at the end of the game. They didn't like Admiral Schofield going for the pick, getting the foul. The game was over. It's not unique. People were trying to make Tennessee out to be this uniquely unhinged, horrible fan base. This was just par for the course. You should see what they do in European soccer stadiums. You should see what they do at all over the place.
Yeah,
teams that
like
get
I think.
fined for racism and stuff. Like,
Yes.
I think this got more publicity and more like airtime than like the Alabama fan murdering a Texas A&M fan last week.
yeah, like
The Alabama can legit murder somebody, and we get more publicity for throwing a mustard bottle.
yeah.
Oh, because we didn't like Greg Schiano.
You got to think that. I mean, this because Pat Forty, I was fine with his tweet, but when you call an entire fan base petulant, go to hell, buddy. How about that? Like, what's the need? You're a national sports writer. Like, why are you saying that about any fan base? Like, at all?
I heard it said really well. That asshole has a great life and career on the backs of people like the fans he's shitting on.
Yeah, like
you clearly do not know where your bread is buttered. I don't know how he continues to have, I'm obviously not for canceling or censoring anyone, but that he continues to have any kind of gravitas or any kind of given voice in this conversation is ludicrous to me. The guy is so out of touch. He just,
I mean,
I have
the obvious way to, obviously we don't want to end his career because he called us petulant, but I've never, show me by Pat 40 on any article. Nope, not clicking on it. Sorry, buddy, you ain't getting my click.
No,
We'll talk about who is getting our clicks from now on, though.
Who?
Brandon Walker coming to the defense of us over the weekend was next level. Love that guy.
He
hates
3 hours
so
of sleep.
much. I love him.
Yeah.
If you take anything away from this, go and listen to him talk about Knoxville. Yeah. It made my heart glow.
Yeah, I rewatched not rewatched it because we missed it because we were at the tailgate, but the Barstool College kickoff show. It's on their YouTube channel now, and it's like 25 minutes or whatever. And it was great. I mean, they talked awesome about Tennessee fans and talked awesome about Knoxville and everything. So they all had a good time. Brandon Walker was hilarious. So shout out to Brandon Walker, and also shout out to Josh Pate from 247. like Josh Pate and Brandon Walker are now VFLs after this weekend.
Yeah, and any local sports personality that stood up for Vol fans, shout out
Matt
to them. But all you
Not
national
David
little
Oven. Not
peddlers,
David Oven.
David Unbend.
oh my man, Tony on the fifth quarter. That was like getting in trouble at school unless your teacher give you a life lesson. Like, oh my gosh, like, but yeah, screw those people that blamed an entire fan base for all this. I mean,
Just did their hands cramp from the pearl clutching? I hope so. It would be the only injury of the entire event.
okay, let me ask you this: what if that scoop and score and that fourth down play were reversed? Like, what if that that scoop and score happened at that moment? Like, because in the past, when UT gets close to any sort of upset, they'll bring out law enforcement, event staff. Did they do that Saturday? Like near the end of the game?
No,
I think there was a little, but it wasn't like.
Yeah,
It was-
they used to make a ring around the
Yeah.
field. Like there was no way you
Yeah.
were rushing it unless you committed
So,
assault.
like, let's talk about that. Like, after the trash delay, Ole Miss still had to get a first down, and they didn't. And the few, I don't know how many fans, there are probably 50, 60,000 fans still left there, maybe more, I don't know. And Valus Jones has that insane punt return, and we're like, oh my God, like he's about to score. And then Chris, I know that's what you kind of want to talk about with the fans rushing down.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that
like
was a beautiful sight.
it was. Okay, I don't know if they showed. Did they show it on TV?
Yeah, I thought they were going to run onto the field. Like I thought that was like, nope, 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 nope.
I was like a proud father.
It was a beautiful sight. If we would have won that game, that would have just, I mean, that would be the clip of just.
Like the game seemed like it was going to be called. That like I had completely turned off my emotions. I was already mentally heading back to grab a water and listen to Tony. And then when we got that close and the students did that, and the passion still remained, and like that they were just undaunted. I mean, they had been forced out of the section, and the rush of them. I mean, it was truly beautiful. I was so proud of them.
Yeah, it was cool. But if those two plays were switched, do you think that incident would have been like a riot would have broke out? In my opinion. What do you think, Caleb?
Well, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I don't think that Ole Miss ever calls that play with 50 seconds left in the game. But yes, I agree. It would have been very, very bad.
Yeah, it would have been oof.
Well, I think if you say, for me, if Valus Jones doesn't fumble the first punt return, and then we do get the scoop and score, I think we're kind of off and running to the races, and we're just not in that position.
I probably have 9 points.
So,
but yeah, so that punt return, man, it felt like we're winning this game. Like that's what I was an emotional wreck that like for like the last hour of this ordeal. And then Hooker goes down, can't continue, and in comes
oh Jesus!
Joe Milton III. Completed 50% of his passes on the night. Okay, completed 50% of his passes because he forgot to throw the ball on the last play of the game. Are you freaking what?
Oh,
Well, it's not just that he forgot to throw the ball. It's that I'm even okay if you want to run the ball, but take a hit, lateral the ball, do anything but
No, it's
politely step out of bounds.
Throw the freaking ball up. Like, oh my God. I recorded my reaction to the end of the game and put it in the chat the other night, and like I was just so dumbfounded. I didn't even know, like I just stopped it. It's like I don't know what to say. Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen on a football field in my life. Even worse than the scoop and score. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm kind of like I love our coaching staff. I'm trusting them. Everything I've seen from them, they've kind of been hitting home runs with me, especially when they start with Milton and they give him a game and a half, 2 games, and they're like, okay, he's not the guy. But I feel like if Hendon Hooker can't go this Saturday versus Alabama, you can't put Milton out there. I mean, you have to just throw Harrison Bailey out there, like Joe Milton the third. Like he's got the third on the back of his jersey because he's third string.
God, that was cheap.
But I mean, it just I got it from a radio show. But I don't know. Like I like Heupel a lot, but if he continues to put Milton out there, if Hooker can't go, like I don't know.
I think if Harrison Bailey was back there with this offensive line, we might get 200 yards of offense.
That's fine. I mean, but
Milton's
can't,
not any better.
Yeah, Milton. We've seen Milton, and we know he's not the answer.
I mean, we've not even seen Bailey get a chance to throw the ball. Like, he's coming in handoff duty. Like,
yeah.
I wonder if he would not actually be killed. He might.
Why though? I mean,
he's a college football player, just like Milton.
Milton doesn't like to run and take hits either.
Milton got killed by Pittsburgh. Do you think he's going to survive against Bama?
It is a good football team.
No! They lost. Who'd they lose to? Who was it?
It was Western Michigan.
Western Michigan. No.
Matt, I think if there's one thing we've learned this football season, the transitive property does not work.
No. This is chaos season, blood season.
Well, I'd like to be in some of that chaos and not on the end we've been on. All right.
Yeah, the transitive property says that Bama killed Ole Miss. Ole Miss beats Tennessee. Tennessee beats Bama.
I'm in.
I'm just kidding.
No.
So
sorry.
We're just gonna touch on Bama quick.
We're not.
No, we're not. There's nothing to talk about.
We're gonna get a score prediction, and that's it.
No, we're
there's
not.
Nothing to talk about.
Our grandkids will
Screw them.
appreciate
They
what
do not
we thought.
deserve us talking about them.
They've ruined football. Screw this rivalry. Get rid of it.
Chris, what was that passion earlier? Screw Alabama. Screw them. I want to win this football game. Do we have a chance? No. But by God, I'm going to give my score prediction for the Vols.
All right, Matt, go ahead. Let's get this over with.
Okay. I found my notes here. Okay, Caleb?
0-0.
Chris?
I bet it's a weird one. Something like
1-0.
41-31.
Bama. Yeah, I'm not even going to.
Bama.
Kyle, what do you got?
42-24 Bama.
Good job. Thank you for your effort, guys. I am going to say 38-13. Bama.
Okay.
Still looking my season. I had us losing to Bama, so.
All
right, Henry T, you stink, even though you led the team in tackles last week. Boy, it'd be nice to make him look stupid a couple plays. Ugh.
Meet him over the middle. Wait till he meets Ramel Keaton over the middle.
Don't throw over the middle.
Oh, that's right. No, we had a few, didn't we?
Yeah, on 4th and 24.
Oh.
Let's revisit that. All right, final thoughts on... one thing I did want to bring up. On that third down on Ole Miss's last drive, oh my gosh, it looked like Corral was going to stumble and fumble. He stumbled He put that ball on the ground, but man, he hung on to it. And I was just thinking, if he would have dropped that ball, that could have been just a magical moment. Like, oh man. Oh,
We did not. We don't have a Billy Ratliff to recover right now.
oh gosh. Oh, the days. All right, so Vols lose in Bama.
Probably
Fall to
so.
4-4 on the year.
I mean, okay, just forgive me. Don't you kind of just have a little bit of a weird feeling about this one?
No, you just said, oh, the rivalry sucks. I hate
No,
it.
this is a
You're not coming
protective.
back with that. No.
This is a protective measure. Like I just to numb myself to this that we've had no hope of winning. We've gotten close twice in this Saban era, but this one, something feels a little odd about it. It's almost too quiet.
I mean, I said it in chat earlier. Is like I don't expect us to win. I'm not calling us to win, but if we end up going to win, I wouldn't be surprised. Not because we're sneaky good or they're sneaky bad or whatever, but it's just this season, not just for Tennessee, but for college football in general, has just been crazy. And I feel like anything can happen. So
Just the Tennessee new first year coaches generally always find a way to get a weird one against someone that matters.
Well, what was that stat I shared recently?
Wait, Caleb was about to say something. What were you going to say?
No,
Caleb?
we're not winning, guys. It's Alabama. They're way better than us. We don't. Half our team is hurt, and we already don't have half a team. Hooker's not going to play. We're probably going to play Joe Milton. We're not winning.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
yeah.
right.
Here it is. So in the.
But I will say, wait, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go.
No, I was just going to say, like, I will say, like, I don't think we're winning, but I think our win percentage is higher than our win percentage is going to be against Georgia. I think Georgia will be a tougher game than Alabama.
I think last I looked, we were like an 8.5% chance to win. But yeah, I shared this stat in the chat a while ago. But in the last 17 games against Alabama, the Vols have scored more than 20 points. Who remembers how many times?
Twice?
Twice. Since 2007, Alabama has outscored us 537 to 177. Oh my gosh. But yeah, the head coach since 2007 with the most points against Alabama was...
Would that be Jeremy Pruitt?
That would be Jeremy Pruitt. Oh gosh. It's going to be a rough one. Hendon Hooker, Tyon Evans, Cade Mays, all the injured boys, get well soon. We're cheering for you. We're rooting for you.
Take the week off. Like, don't force them in this game.
Yeah, that was... we were talking about that the other day. Like, just
sit them out.
Rest them boys.
Just don't even show up, Just send a representative and walk on the field and say we forfeit.
It'd be a great week to have a COVID
Caleb
outbreak.
would hit the score prediction. Good job, Caleb. 0-0. All right, what else we got about Bama or Ole Miss? Anything before we get to our gripe?
I'm glad that cheating at getting into the parking garage is permissible. We just barely managed to beat some of the other early comers by what, a couple of minutes, Kyle?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we got to the tailgate garage at like 6:45, and that's AM for those that didn't know. But like as soon as we got in our tailgate spot that Chris really wanted, about 30 seconds after he parked, like two more cars came up gunning for that spot. So shout out to Chris for making everybody wake up early and going out there, because 30 seconds later and we wouldn't have got it.
I was a little freaked out about how long they looked at where we were setting up. Like
they
were plotting to like throw us over the edge or something. It's like we're here. Like, what are you looking for? Like,
There was some real regret in their eyes, but then when they walked up later, they were quite gracious. I respected
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I had a great time though. The the rain just pelting us while we're standing under that half-built tent was just.
It was misadventure at its finest. I still don't understand why we accidentally brought out the cornhole bags to sit in the rain.
Just left them in the
Didn't
puddle.
think about it.
Hey, we had
I
some good cornhole games though. We had one that lasted longer than the actual football game, but
I enjoy frustrating James in competitive ventures just to
Yeah.
watch slow roll him.
and also, folks, if you tailgate in public, don't bring a freaking speaker and play music, okay?
God
Not
almighty.
everybody's like you. Not everybody wants to sit there and dance with two of your other guy friends. Just, oh god. All right.
I enjoy
Yeah.
Caleb,
talking
how was
with
your tailgate experience? Thank you for the pizza.
I-
Caleb, after this, send me your Venmo name. I gotta send you
Okay.
money finally.
I mean, I really enjoyed the tailgate. I mean, I'm glad we were over prepared with the food situation, so that was
a touch.
good. Good to have too much pizza and too many chips. Had pretty
Still
good
got some
turnout. Yeah, there's still some pizza in the fridge if you want some, Chris.
Cheat days are gone now.
No, it was fun. More people came than I expected, so
It
good.
was our best tailgate in some time.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. All right, weekly gripe. I just saw your chat, Caleb. Kyle, what you got? What you griping this week? Back in the city that never sleeps. You getting some sleep?
Yeah, I'm getting some sleep. My gripe, you kind of stole my gripe because I was going to talk about the frat boys that were
Those were
tailgating
not
beside us.
boys.
Did you
Or
guys
whatever,
see their beer pong setup too?
It was embarrassing.
No, so it's like for the viewers viewing us at home. So it was like they came in like some kind of like white SUV that just looked stupid. There's like 5 guys to start, 4 or 5 guys to start, and they just pull out. They each have a cooler of White Claw, and they're sitting on their cooler of White Claw, and then they just bring one speaker and they hook it up and just immediately start blasting music. And their playlist is insane. It goes from like hardcore, super explicit hip hop rap to like super, super, super southern country, and then like techno music to. I mean, it was just like they had everything covered, and it was just so freaking loud. And then like a couple hours later, it's like five more, and then they just kept like multiplying. And then one time, like I guess a group of them came and they all brought Chipotle for the entire group. So it was a Tennessee football tailgate, and all they had was a speaker, and at that time, like 10 coolers of White Claw as their chairs and their table while they were eating Chipotle bowls. And it was just like, Jesus.
Their beer pong was like actual buckets and a tennis ball. It's like, what? But the best part was when UTPD pulled up and they quickly got rid of the game because all of them were definitely underage. But Chris, what you griping about?
I'm just so seething thinking about that right now. I mean, that clearly is the biggest gripe of the weekend. I can't think of much else right now. I will say that I was very gratified to go and speak to other like college students and asking them, is this stuff that they're playing? Is it good? And uniformly, the college students informed me, old man, no, it's trash. It's garbage. I hate it. So it gave me a little bit of faith in the younger generations. Gripes nowhere. Like I'm looking forward to Kentucky.
So we have bye week next week after Bama, and then Kentucky, correct?
Georgia.
Then Georgia.
And it's
Bye week.
Bama by Kentucky, then Georgia.
Okay.
Bama by Kentucky, Georgia.
South Bama, Vanderbilt.
Oh gosh,
Going quick.
it is. Caleb, what you got? They're all-star
All right.
griper.
I think I've got 2 gripes. Now that you guys have given me another one. So my first one is what I like to call big J journalists, and we've touched on some of these folks, and I won't repeat all those arguments for why I hate people like Pat Forty.
Screw you.
But there was another gentleman who showed up to our tailgate who was a big J journalist who just could not stand these people who talk about sports but do not actually know anything about sports. They weren't trained properly at the University of Michigan.
Like the guy that was saying these things, right?
Exactly.
Ooh.
And so he goes on this big tirade about how, oh yeah, I'm a real journalist. I cover Michigan, blah blah blah. And then come to find out, he didn't actually go to the real Michigan. He went to, where'd he go? Like Michigan.
The
Tech.
University of Michigan at Wayne County.
Yeah, it's like Michigan Southern.
Yeah.
But I covered Michigan. I'm like, okay, guy, yeah. Okay, so that was my secondary gripe that I didn't even think about. My primary gripe for the weekend has to be gastrointestinal distress, which pretty much ruined the game for me. I'll just say that it was probably the most miserable game day experience I've had in quite some time.
Only at the end, though, right? At the end of the tailgate.
When we walked to the stadium, and then throughout the entire game, it was my stomach was not treating me well.
Yeah, Domino's beat the number 2 out of you, huh?
Unfortunately, no. That was
No.
the issue. No, Domino's kept it in me.
Wow.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, my gripe. I don't know. I had one, but I forgot it. What's a good gripe?
Forgetfulness.
Forgetfulness? No. I think somebody stole it, but that's okay. My gripe. Okay, here it is. The Southeastern Conference. Just sports in general. College football in general.
Life
is
the universe.
Multi-billion-dollar industry. Where does that money go? Some of it goes to schools. A lot of it goes to administrators, stuff like that. Why doesn't it go to the officials? Why can't we hire officials, make some freaking robots? What's Boston Dynamics doing now? They've had a robot that could jump onto a box for 15 years, but we still can't get college football officials or a replay system that makes sense to actually make the game never have to come down to if a ref made a wrong call. And it's just frustrating. Screw you, SEC. Hire better officials. Have more accountability for your officials. And issue as an apology. Oh, yeah. That's one thing we didn't talk about. Well, we got a $250,000 fine, right? Oh, my God. I honestly thought it would be probably $1 million. I was like, yeah, they're going to fine us pretty bad. But when they talk about how bad it was and you see like a picture and there's like 4 Dasani water bottles and a crushed Michelob Ultra can, it's like, oh, gosh, like, this is totally that end of the game with the Cleveland Browns back in the early 2000s. You guys remember that? When they actually had to call the football game because fans wouldn't stop throwing stuff on the field? Like that's a bottling, okay? So All you national media jerks, screw you. But yeah, that's going to be it this week. Anybody got any final thoughts? Kyle, you got it last week. Caleb, you'll get it next week. Chris, what's your final words?
We're gonna be okay.